Network Entertainment.
And I think that's something na Tony Khan hasn't yet mastered. Parang di pa rin naiisip di pa rin ako-consider na okay, baka may mga tao sa Pilipinas na nag-leave ng Monday morning para manood ng Double or Nothing, di ba? If he thought about that, if he caught up with how these two big companies have fan bases from all over the world, maybe he would have patterned what WWE is doing right now.
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to you.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey
everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run.
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov. This is Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening...
And you are listening...
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
You are watching and listening to the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stancy, Romoran, Emil Nate all checking in for a huge live stream for tonight kasi dalawang PLE/PTV ang ipapredict natin. So, for those of you who want to catch King and Queen of the Ring live at 1 a.m. and then you want to go to DexCon and you want to watch Double or Nothing on Monday, sige, walang tulugan. Let's go!
Meron naman tulugan kahit papano. Jesus Christ. I mean, like, there are hours in between those shows. Right, King and Queen of the Ring is happening on, well, technically it's Sunday morning because it's after midnight, but
yeah,
it's on Saturday night. The evening is of Saturday. So we'll be there at Hobby Stadium, who have asked us to, put on this show for them for their regulars. So if you want to catch who will be the new King and Queen of the Ring live and no other time because Disney Plus is not going to have it at any other time after it shows it live, we are doing this viewing party again on Sunday night, Saturday night, early morning, after midnight on Sunday. Doors are opening at 12 a.m. on at Hobby Stadium, New Manila, Quezon City, Doña Hamady Corner, E. Rodriguez Street. Walk-in tickets are just 350 pesos. There's no reservations, no pre-registrations here. Just come in. Let's all have some fun. You get free iced tea when you order when you buy a ticket, and then syempre let's eat some Hobby Stadium food to keep ourselves awake and drink some Hobby Stadium coffee as well. So we'll be there. I'll be there. I believe Emil will be there as well to come hang out and just have a fun time. If you want to catch this live, if you were planning to catch this live, isa lang naman yung choice mo. So let's go with our choice. We'll be using the WWE Network stream, and I can guarantee you that that's not going to focus on one camera angle only. So see you there at Hobby Stadium this Saturday evening of Saturday.
Hey, let's give a shout out to our friends from Hobby Stadium who hosted the press event for Pokeverse over this weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Pokeverse is the event which features the voice actor of Pikachu as well as Jason Page, the OG singer of the Pokemon theme. So siya yung mas OG pa kaysa kay Billy Crawford.
Yeah. Are you going to be there? Who's going to be there?
No, I'm not going to be there. I am busy this weekend. But I have some friends from the voice acting community who will be there.
Big get
event. Big get yun. So congrats to Hobby Stadium for being a small part of it. Yun, Veronica Taylor, that's her name. Thank you, Dr. G.
Kulang na lang si Billy Crawford isama nila sa event. Diba?
Yeah, I think Billy Crawford was a big time there. Not an insult to them, more of just, Billy Crawford probably being Billy Crawford.
Can you imagine Billy Crawford is bigger than the show in the Philippines?
Unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah, congrats to them. Other stuff we got to plug. Syempre, we have the Patreon program. Emil, we haven't heard from you all night. So let's tell them about the Patreon program and all its perks.
Ayan, so okay na ba yung audio ko? So
Yes,
here we
sir.
go. Yun.
Yes, sir.
So
Yeah.
you can support again the pod by subscribing to our Patreon programs right there below. Patreon.com/wrestling podcast. For those $5 or 250 to 260 pesos locally. You'll get benefits, of course. We have the Discord server where you can interact with us and talk to us about everything and anything under the sun. And I think on Monday, wala pang confirmation, but we might have a Double or Nothing watch party on Discord. Can you confirm that on your end, bro? Hindi pa.
No, I'm not confirming that shit. No, you do it. You do it. No, I don't know. If Sam wants to buy it, then he does it.
Ayan. So, sige.
Wala.
Sige. Wala pang kasiguraduhan. But we do host some watch parties in a
Emil,
while.
don't plug something we can't provide, okay?
All right. Yeah,
We
sorry.
can provide it. I just don't want to right now.
Wala rin humihingi. No one's
wala
asking
rin
for
humihingi.
Double or
Oh.
Nothing.
All right. Okay. All right. Also,
If you want to
we
go
got,
catch Double or Nothing where you see the dog right after, go right ahead. Di namin
Pwede mong
kinikiki.
bilhin, Emil. Mayaman ka na naman eh. Na-raise ka naman sa trabaho, diba? So,
Oh,
pwede
aren't
mong
you
bilhin.
making twice what you were
Yeah.
making at the
You
start
have
of the year?
you have access to the account. So if you decide to buy it and air it for the rest of the Discord, go right ahead. But I'm removing myself from this narrative at this time.
All right. Okay. Also, we got if you are part of our Patreon, you have discounts to the passabays that we always do every once in a while on the service fees, of course. So if you want to get your authentic wrestling merch, all that. Also, you can also enjoy the review content of the weekly wrestling shows. All of us, I think, is writing a review at this point: Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, Rampage.
Well, Chino has stopped, so that's that.
Yeah, but he actually does write reviews for Impact.
He did, yeah.
And again, by subscribing to our Patreon, you're supporting everything that we do here in the pod. Again, going strong for 10 years. So the link is right there below, patreon.com/wrestling podcast.
All right. Let's get to some happy row noises. WWE on Blast TV plug coming right at ya.
Para to sa anak kong si Adoris Stoudemire. So, WWE on Blast TV, guys. Blast TV isn't going to show you the PLEs, and if they did, they probably won't show you a version that you would like anyway. So if you do want to catch up with everything that happens on the way to the PLEs, this is where you go. You go to Blast TV, www.blasttv.ph or app.blasttv.ph. It's free for Converge and Globe at Home subscribers. And syempre, it's 179 pesos for everyone else. That is super fucking cheap, guys. It's super, super cheap. It's the cheapest subscription other than free to a wrestling service. And you don't just get wrestling. You get The Office. You get The Good Place. You get the Fast series. About so many other stuff. You get the NBA via Satanta. You get the NFL when it comes back in a couple of months. And then a whole bunch of other sports. They're packing that stuff with content, and it's super duper affordable. Go check that out. www.blasttv.ph. Go watch it now before they take it away from us. Because if you don't watch it, they might do just that.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're gonna start things off with NXT and how Dante Chen did not just make an appearance, but he actually had a prominent spot on the show. He had a very competitive match against Lexis King, which he actually won. And it seems like he might be the new client of Robert Stone. So hindi pa siya explicit na he's taking on Dante Chen as his new client. Pero parang ganun na rin from the way that they were setting up the pre-match, the post-match video and the interactions nina Dante Chen and Robert Stone. And given the recency to the Drew Gulak allegations and how people identified na si Dante Chen pala yung spinike ni Drew Gulak. Do you think there's a connection here?
God, shit. I totally forgot about that. I just wondered, but why are they randomly pushing Dante Chen? Then I forgot. Oh man, no, fuck. People have discovered the footage of him getting spiked on his head. But regardless, even if it were not a makeup act for him, I think deserves naman eh. He's siya yung diba? Yung isa sa mga 2.0 guys. We talked about this nung Monday, but napag-iwanan din siya when 2.0 came around, and then they had all the other rookies and his batchmates go on to bigger things, and then napag-iwanan siya kasi they didn't really have that much for him. I don't know if it's because of his nationality, his ethnicity, but you know, it's great. I don't care if it took someone being punished, or you know, if it took someone getting allegations for him to get a push. I mean, you know, a lot of other pushes have started from an act of politics, diba? So it's all fair in the wrestling business. So deserve naman niya. Unlike a lot of the performance center rookies, he has been again grinding. He has been grinding in the scene in wrestling for nearly a decade now, or around a decade.
Over
now.
a decade, actually.
Over a
2012.
decade, yeah. Right. That's even before SPW, right? So that's again one of those things that, okay, you do need to grind that long to be something kahit katiting na ano na presence sa ano, diba, sa mainstream top level wrestling. So that's pretty cool. And he's still young. I mean, not super young, but you know, he's still in the peak of health, in the peak of conditioning. And I hope that he not only gets time but also gets a sustained push, or not, I don't know, just a lot more airtime, where he gets to improve even more than where he was on the totem pole just, you know, weeks ago.
Yeah. You know, echoing what you said, lang, Rona, you know, it's always good because Dante Chen does represent us in Southeast Asia. He's basically the only one from the scene who's actually there in WWE, in the performance center, diba? And I guess it's time to show the world what Southeast Asian wrestling is all about. Because Dante, like, he was there, but he would get squashed. Diba? As recently as yung SmackDown from last month, was it? Or 2 months ago, na Braun Breaker just speared him in like 5 seconds or whatever. But now he gets to be the Southeast Asian standout, which is now printed on his ring gear. And I hope na it leads to something, you know, being associated with Robert Stone, who did help make Von Wagner a sympathetic babyface. You know, you can do so much worse than having Robert Stone as your manager at this point. So interesting things ahead for our friend Dante Chen.
Yeah, I hope this really leads to something, because, you know, it could be the start of something, but you know, often in wrestling, it could go somewhere, it could lead nowhere.
Only time will tell. So tingnan natin kung anong kalalabasan itong little story that Dante Chen has found himself in. Let's move on to talking about one of the big PLEs happening this weekend, and that's WWE King and Queen of the Ring, emanating from Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. Emil's back. Emil, pakigalaw ang baso.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Okay.
Nawala ako for a bit.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on Dante Chen and this little push he's on?
It's a very cool thing to witness. I mean, it's one of Southeast Asia's best, and to see him be featured on the NXT Weekly program and get a win, that's a big deal for all of us who you know, who alam naman natin yung scene dito sa Southeast Asia. It's growing pa. So to see someone have that moment on American TV, that's very cool moment to see.
All right. Let's move on to WWE King and Queen of the Ring. It's happening this Sunday at 1 a.m. Manila time. So that's 8 p.m. local time over in Jeddah. It's like 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. West Coast time. So it's another one of those international shows, diba? And we're entering a streak now where the non-Big Four shows, actually the non-WrestleMania shows so far, have been 5-match cards. It really harkens back to NXT Black and Gold, yung takeover era. And we've talked about this quite a few times, but are you at a point where you miss the era of PLEs having 7 or 8 matches on a card? Kasi ngayon, puro 5-match na lang 5 matches.
No, I don't miss it at all. Sorry, my attention span is growing shorter and shorter by the year. And the fact that Triple H knows how to really edit these things, his cards, it's really great. Because, you know, we also grew up in a long era of maraming a match, pero kadalasan naman ng super ikli, diba? Like, yes, there are places for short matches on a pay-per-view card, but when on paper on the whole kasi pag maikli yung match, you kind of get the sense na yes, I enjoy short matches like the more than a lot of fans, but I do know that it does come off as less important, diba? Parang hindi siya binigyan ng oras para magluto. So I'd rather have the 5-match card na it's long and it also does get kind of tiring by the end, but I know that the matches have big fight feels. Even if I don't feel the same way for all the matches, I'd rather have the men and women involved feel like they're wrestling something really important.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really miss these 7 or 8 matches PLE. I'd rather save those for big events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam. So I'm okay with this current trend of 5 matches lang every PLE. Ang problema kasi dito for me is, yes, there are only 5 matches sa PLE, pero if you look at the runtime of the PLEs, it's still like 3-4 hours. Kasi tad-tad siya ng commercials. So if they can maybe cut down to maybe 2.5 or just barely 3 hours, that would be great.
Yeah, like I don't need shows to be 4 or 5 hours anymore. Like I don't need that stuff. Like hindi na siya sulit bayad for me. Like some people might think it is like, okay, you pay this much for a ticket and then you expect a lot of a full ass card of hours of wrestling, but that's not suited bayad to me, diba? I'd rather enjoy with less than feel like I got too much with more.
Even if like every match is 15 minutes at least.
Hell yeah. Yeah, at least alam ko, okay, I'm counting after an hour, we're past half the card. That's great for me. I enjoy that kasi I can rest quicker after the whole thing. Like watching a show, you're just sitting there, pero it's also mental effort to stay tuned, to stay to stay engaged, especially if not everything is engaging. So I don't want to have to sit there all night and battle my attention span.
Lalo na kung past hating gabi, di ba? Like Backlash in Lyon or itong King and Queen of the Ring or next month, Clash at the Castle. It speaking from the experience namin ni Carlo where we're working the shows, it really is a struggle to stay up through the entire time.
Baka yun nga yung naging consideration nila after so long, after decades, diba? That maybe the whole world is tuning in. It's not just the people live at the arena anymore. It's not just people in the same country anymore. People are watching this in real time, no matter what time it is in their place. Diba? So maybe somebody thought, okay, let's be considerate to people and say and put on a show that respects their body and their minds. Diba? Kasi people need to sleep. People need to go to work. People need to be at work. Diba? It's a little too much then to ask someone from the other side of the world, diba, to devote their waking or their sleeping hours even or their business hours to be watching you. And I think that's something that Tony Khan hasn't yet mastered. Parang di pa rin naiisip di pa rin ako-consider na okay, baka may mga tao sa Pilipinas na nag-leave ng Monday morning para manood ng Double or Nothing, diba? If he thought about that, if he caught up with how these two big companies have fan bases from all over the world, maybe he would have patterned what WWE is doing right now.
Eto, sige, now that you've mentioned Double or Nothing, and since both pay-per-views are basically going sort of head-to-head, but not really, Double or Nothing has double the matches of King and Queen of the Ring. So, alin ang mas sulit bayad para sa inyo? Is it Double or Nothing or King and Queen of the Ring?
If we are to take Double or Nothing as the WrestleMania of AEW, which is probably isn't anymore, so we have All In, diba?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pero assuming it wasn't, sige, okay lang. But I still wouldn't go for 10 matches, right? I know that they're gonna space it to make it that these 10 matches will fit 4 hours. And it is possible. I've seen them do it, but it is still tiring. I don't want to be there for 4 hours. I think 3 is now the new maximum for any wrestling show, especially with the advent of a 3-hour Raw or the 3-hour blocks of programming in AEW. So, it's not feasible anymore. I don't care if the hardcore fans want 4 hours. The people in the arena are still sitting there for almost a quarter of a day just watching wrestling, and that's not feasible for everyone.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be predicting WWE King and Queen of the Ring. We'll also let Emil have a chance to refresh kasi medyo garbled yung internet connection niya. You know, it happens. It's a live show. So let's hear a quick word from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network.
Do you feel lost, doubting yourself, and tired? You question your worth and existence? Well, I'm here for you. Hey, this is Gailey Chavez, and I'm the host of Free Yourself Podcast. My podcast talks about self-love, self-discovery, and growth. This is for everyone who wants to live their fullest life and become the person that they could be. Let me help out and remind you that this is your life, your path, that you are not broken, and you are worth it. Catch me every Friday at 8 p.m. See ya!
All right, WWE King and Queen of the Ring happening this Sunday, 1 a.m. Kung gusto nyong maging part ng viewing party natin sa Hobby Stadium, there is still time to go join us over there at Hobby Stadium, 1 a.m., but the doors open at midnight over at Hobby Stadium in New Manila. But if you're going to catch it on your own, there's Disney+. If you've found a way to access WWE Network, God bless you, good for you. And if you're going to be sailing the high seas, bahala ka na sa buhay mo. All right. 5 matches for WWE King and Queen of the Ring. Let's get right to it and start with the women. Women's World Championship match, Becky Lynch versus a Liv Morgan, who at this point is fully entrenched in the dark side.
First of all, Julian, not in the workplace. Second of all, it's interesting. We all know that the Becky run was medyo na siya, band-aid solution siya because
Rhea
got injured. So I do kind of want to reward Liv now for successfully saving Becky from a heel reaction or a heel reception, diba? So she fully turned to the dark side. Medyo super nakakainis na siya. She fully embraced her villainous side. And I feel like whether or not Rhea was going to be taken out, I feel she deserves to get there anyway. Parang doon na rin papunta yung story niya. So let's have Liv win and let Becky rest a little bit.
Yeah, there were rumors coming out of WrestleMania that Becky Lynch was supposed to take a break and then Rhea got injured. Then Becky tweeted something along the lines of, okay, I guess it's time for me to come back. So parang minadali, di ba, yung pagbalik ni Becky Lynch. So I guess it would have also been complicated for Seth and the baby, diba? If Becky's on the road and Seth isn't. Exactly. So not that we know anything about what's going on sa kanila, but you know, if the rumors are true, na Becky Lynch does need a break, like a recovery period na sustain, then it might be time to see Women's World Champion Liv Morgan wreak havoc on this Raw roster through her revenge tour.
Yeah. Agree.
One more thing on that revenge tour, Ro. I know na we have talked about it dito sa podcast na the whole Watch Me and the revenge tour thing, medyo hindi pa siya fleshed out. I kind of like what Becky did here in the Go Home show where sinabi niya na, okay, nag-revenge tour ka, o tapos pag nagawa mo yun, what happens to you? And it hits close to home as somebody who doesn't forgive and loves the idea of revenge, which is why I think it was a great character note for Becky to hold the mirror up to Liv and say na, okay, once you're done with revenge, now what?
Well, this conversation got weird. Yeah, that's a good point. But that's the whole point of a heel anyway, diba? So okay, you're fixated on your feelings, right? And deriving your pleasure from something that relatively mababaw, but for you hindi siya mababaw, but it's still something that you would like to see through to the end because it's your feelings. You want to get some sense of closure by getting the upper hand. I'm not sure. I mean, yes, it's good for Becky to raise that point, that character point, as a sign that okay, we're in a story that's well written at this point. But for Liv's part, I don't think that's a big concern. Like, okay, who is she really taking revenge on? Isn't it Rhea? And then if she beats Becky anyway, the tour isn't concluded, diba? Hintay pa ni si Rhea bumalik. It's nice to be women. I mean, speaking from Liv's point of view, it's gonna be nice to win the championship, but the tour isn't fully completed after that, diba? So meron pa siyang and then.
Right, right. Yeah, sabi ni Lance, it's Schadenfreude. But, may limit din yun diba? Tama si Becky eh.
Yeah, that's true.
But then Liv counters and says na, but I have a purpose now. Which also makes her look silly. Kasi sabi ni Becky, so ano yun? You've been effing around here on Raw without a purpose. Di mo alam anong gagawin mo. Di mo alam na you wanted to be champion or the best. That's what Becky was saying to Liv, diba? So, yung rebuttal ni Liv na supalpal din ni Becky.
It's fine kasi alam mo yun, not everyone can be a fully fleshed character like Becky Lynch. Kasi parang okay, Becky Lynch has had the entire time, she has all the screen time in the world because she got over to flesh out who she is. Liv does not, diba? Liv did not get that same chance, especially nung kasikatan niya was still Vince's era, right? She kind of missed a lot of the first year of Triple H's run, diba? So if this leads to getting time for Liv to really flesh out who Liv Morgan is, and all well and good, diba? So, okay, it's fine for Becky to raise those questions and make Liv look a little half-baked. Okay lang, kasi hindi silang lahat, hindi pwedeng maging isang Becky Lynch eh, diba?
Mm-hmm. All right. Moving on to the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. It's Sami Zayn defending against Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. So this feud has been cooking basically since after WrestleMania 40 ended, with Gable turning heel, Bronson Reed openly declaring his intention to chase after the Intercontinental Championship. Then Sami dito sa Go Home show cut this promo about how it's a battle between the mind, the body, and the soul. So does Sami get to have another successful defense here, or does Chad Gable finally get his time? Does Bronson get to have his little title run?
I have a lot of feelings about this story. And not all of them are good. First, I would like to see Chad Gable finally win the championship. Because, come on. How long has he been going at this particular chase? But nagbago na yung champion, hindi pa rin siya nananalo. So, nag-turn na siya, hindi pa rin siya mananalo. So, let's have him win. But my bigger problem here is that the direction of the Chad Gable turn has kind of disappointed me. When he first turned by ripping Sami Zayn from the arms of his wife, I thought he was gonna be a stone cold killer. Kasi yun yung writing sa kanya leading up to the heel turn, right? He started wearing suits. He started becoming a little more serious. Tapos, after he turned heel, he goes back to being funny Chad Gable, except he's a dick. So, I expected him to be wrestling machine Kurt Angle, circa ECW days. And then he just ended up being milk truck heel Kurt Angle. So, I don't know if you guys see this, but biglang naging...
I don't know. Ako di ako natatawa when he's berating Alpha Academy. He's not doing it to be funny.
He's not doing it to be funny, but he's still kind of funny, you know? Hindi funny. It's unserious, if you get my drift. Like, yes, he's telling them to be dicks and to be relentless and to be merciless. Pero hindi ko alam kung dahil sa general demeanor niya or dahil sa the way he talks, but he sounds super unserious, diba? Parang I don't know eh, kasi when I see him berate Maxine, Tozawa, and Otis, it feels like he's still doing it for laughs. Like, alam mo yun, like, yes, may makikita mo yung galit niya, pero nakikita mo rin nagpapatawa siya eh. I don't know if anyone else sees this, you know. It doesn't make me look at Chad Gable as being the machine that I thought he was gonna be. I don't know. He's still playing up for that. But you saw the segment that he did with the Creed brothers backstage. He was still joking around. Papatawa pa rin siya eh. So, alam mo yun, it's not what I expected from this story. I wanted them to be OG Diamond Mine. I wanted him to be OG Diamond Mine. And then it's not. It's still not. But there is still a chance. Parang, there is still a chance for it to be that. I don't know if it's because they don't see him as someone who can be super serious wrestling machine or talagang di na kayang gawin kasi ganun talaga yung personality niya. But I do want to see that happen because I feel like that's the missing piece. You know how faces are told all the time you got to turn heels for people to take you seriously as a top player, as a main event player. This is what I was looking for him, and I don't see it yet. I saw that when he was teasing the turn, but after that, parang because he had to deal with Alpha Academy, who were in general joke characters to begin with, he kind of had to dumb down to their level bago pa siya umangat sa serious mode.
So they teased yung Creed brothers aligning with Chad Gable this past week on Raw. Does the turn happen here at King and Queen of the Ring? Do the Creed brothers form this new age team angle? And is it also when they go ballistic on Maxine, Otis, and Tozawa if and when magparamdam sila during this match?
No, I don't think the Creed brothers are doing this. I don't think the Creed brothers are interfering some match. What I think will happen is Gable will win despite Alpha Academy probably not helping him. And then after he wins, he'll dispatch the rest of the Alpha. He'll have the Creed brothers dispatch the Alpha Academy on Raw.
And where does Bronson Reed go from here?
Oh, he's stuck in the middle of a story, a bigger story here.
All right. Okay. Moving on to the Queen of the Ring. We've got the finals, and it's Lyra Valkyria against either Nia Jax or Bianca Belair na magtatapat pa on SmackDown in the semifinals.
Yeah, I forgot hindi pa pala plakado yung finals matchup.
Yes.
Unless there's a taping that we don't know of.
No, wala. SmackDown will air live from Jeddah.
Okay. So it could be a face versus face matchup. It could be a face versus heel matchup. I just know that Lyra Valkyria isn't winning this. But because Io didn't win, I don't think Bianca is winning. I don't know. That's just the wrestling logic brain talking.
So your prediction is Nia Jax is Queen of the Ring?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. I think deserved naman niya. She couldn't win any championships because they have long-term plans. But she has been turning in some performances that have converted some haters. So I think deserved niya to have a nice accomplishment after the couple of years that she took to get to this point.
All right, Emil's back. Let's see if his internet holds up. Emil, give us your prediction for Queen of the Ring.
Hello, guys, can you hear me? I'm good.
Yes.
Audio. Oh,
yes.
Okay. So for my Queen of the Ring, so Lyra has advanced. I feel like yung representative ng SmackDown yung mananalo. Like I don't see Lyra being the Queen of the Ring this early in her WWE run. And Nia and Bianca are both main event caliber talents naman on SmackDown. So I think they're gonna go with Nia kasi sobrang she has all the momentum right now. They're really trying to make an effort to make her look strong kasi siya yung unang technically nakatalo kay Jade Cargill, di ba? So I think Nia's gonna win this. Nia's gonna be the Queen of the Ring.
I mean, she didn't beat Jade Cargill. Jade got disqualified.
Oh, yeah, but in the record books it shows.
On paper, on paper.
On paper.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Bruce is asking, will The Rock show up if Nia Jax wins Queen of the Ring? I think it's pretty clear na The Rock has taken a break and that it'll be a while before we see him again.
That guy is doing his MMA movie. I've seen the Instagram pictures.
Guys, nagpaalam siya, okay?
Nagpatubo siya ng buhok para sa movie na yun. Which is the most wild thing The Rock has ever done in his movie career to this point.
Yeah, even wilder than trying actual acting.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. He's doing an A24 movie. How often can you say that about The Rock?
Eh, ginawa na ni Batista, diba? Didn't Batista do A24 na rin?
Yeah. Eh, hindi, siguro yun yung niya, yung bagong PR move niya after people shat on him for so long over the past year.
Yeah, A24, let's go. All right, moving on. King of the Ring Finals. Ganun din, di pa kasado yung kamatchup ni Gunther. So it's either Randy Orton or Tama Tonga in what's become a continuation of the Bloodline arc. So pretty interesting how they were able to weave this into a King of the Ring bracket that basically got busted for all of us. Nobody saw Tama Tonga advancing this far.
Yeah, as we said on Monday, marami nagalit because LA Knight didn't win. But at this point, whether it's Orton or Tamatonga, are we really doubting the result here? Even Jey Uso couldn't get past Gunther. And Jey Uso is over like Rover to the point that he beats out internet favorite Ilya Dragunov.
So basically, we get the King General.
Yeah. What else?
Mm-hmm. Emil.
What else would you do with it? He's gone.
R.I.P. Emil's internet. But yeah, so are we getting Gunther versus Randy or Gunther versus Tamatonga?
Ang funny kung Gunther versus Tamatonga, and you put him in Saudi, and then the Saudis will be like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" But yeah, obviously Gunther versus Orton. I actually want to see this match. I want to see if Orton's body can hold up.
Yeah. So Randy Orton's actually gotten bigger compared to his younger years, where he's now being billed at 275. Which
oh god, malaki yun. That's super big.
Dude, when Randy Orton first became World Heavyweight Champion, he was listed at 235 or 240.
Yeah, for those who keep track, when Edge was in shape before his main event run in the mid 2000s, he was billed at 240. So malaki na siya, maliit na siya, pero yun yung ano niya, yun yung weight niya. He wasn't like super jacked, and yun yung weight niya. So that 275 is huge, even if it's not the shoot weight. It's so huge.
Yeah, pinag-usapan ni na David Shoemaker na dati Randy Orton was the eye test. Na you stand any wrestler outside WWE next to Randy Orton and see how they'll fare in WWE. Diba? Kasi he used to be the prototypical WWE guy, 6'4", 245 or whatever. Now he's 6'4", 275. He's now a giant.
Mm-hmm. Albert asks if those are pure muscles. I assume you're asking if whether he's natty. Could be, could not be. But at this point, I'm willing to believe that he is natty because he's not comically oversized. I've seen actual bodybuilders who are on gear na halatang on gear, he's not like Joey Swole levels of jacked. So no, that guy, he admits to being on roids. So Joey Swole is the eye test for me. Ito si Randy, halata mo kumain lang na marami.
Oh, Emil, real quick, Gunther versus Randy Orton or Gunther versus Tamatonga?
Gunther versus Orton. I think the Bloodline's not going to be involved in the finals. Something's going to happen on SmackDown. Someone will screw Tamatonga, and then Orton's going to advance.
All right. Ending the King and Queen of the Ring predictions with the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul for the undisputed WWE Championship. Hindi na siya champion versus champion. Only Cody will be defending his title because of Logan Paul and his new contract, which Cody agreed to on SmackDown this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Cody wins. I mean, why else would the US Championship not be on the line?
Yeah, Cody wins. Ganun lang kasimple yun.
All right, Cody wins, lol. Okay, before we get to AEW, sagutin natin tong tanong ni Earl. Thoughts on an Uncle Howdy reveal at King and Queen of the Ring? Actually, it's a good point kasi the announcers have been making an effort to emphasize na, the QR code, the glitch, blah, blah, blah. So, reasonable expectation from Earl here.
I do not care. I just do not care. I'm not going to shit on it anymore. I just don't care. I don't want to play the game. I don't want to decode the clues. I don't care. You guys do that. Labas na ako sa usapan na yan.
Wala pa kasi yung nakikitang possible storyline for it eh. They're just teasing, okay, there's gonna be a new group.
Yeah, you're right. No, that's a good point that Emil says. The reason why I don't care is because the clues right now feel like, they're just adjudication, if you will. It's mental adjudication for whoever is writing the whole Uncle Howdy universe thing. Now, okay, look at me. I can write a whole mystery with AR clues, with the QR codes. Uncle Howdy is paying for a QR service on the internet. May credit card pala siya. So, it's, what are we doing here? Like, okay, Bray Wyatt is gone. And at least Bray Wyatt knew how to thread things together. Diba? Like, ano ba tong kwento na to? Is this his like last unfinished story before he unfortunately passed? I don't know. It doesn't point to anything at all. It's just them teasing a new character in a really in a really, really roundabout way. And that roundabout way just so happens to scratch the itch of a bunch of an entire legion of Bray Wyatt fans. Yun lang eh.
Alright. Sige, wag na natin sagutin kung nag-adjudicate ba si Emil. I'm sure he does in his spare time. That's going to do it for our predictions for WWE King and Queen of the Ring. If you want to hear our predictions for AEW Double or Nothing, just refresh your feed because lalabas na rin naman yan here on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. In the meantime, let us know what you think on social media. It is at Wrestling2XPod on Twitter and on TikTok. Everywhere else, it is at Wrestling Podcast. Individually, it is at Rowiswar, at EML_Meister, at Chino Supersized, at Monday Night Rowan, and at _Stan C. Thank you very much to Babyface producer Jasper and everyone over at the Pod Network for all of the work that they do behind the scenes. And thank you for continuing to make the Wrestling Podcast a part of your weekly wrestling diet. For Chino Liao and Rowan ASH, who can't be with us this week, as well as Romoran and Emil Nate, my name is Stan C, saying that's going to do it for another episode of the Wrestling Podcast. Stay safe, stay hydrated and healthy, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast. Out. Later, Outcasts.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company,